calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
I wanted to find a bank with a purpose. I wanted to find a place that would take my money and not use it to cause the financial crisis, but to fix the financial crisis and to help end income inequality.
The people that we employ are usually clients right off the streets. They don't have an account, but Amalgamated is willing to get that started for them.
Their reputation of supporting the working man, I think, speaks for itself. This is a bank that cares for their customers, and I appreciate that.
We were able to access a construction loan through the bank's programs, and that loan has helped us house 28 families in the community.
Amalgamated is a bank that was started for and about working people.
Many of our customers have a deep commitment to advocating for social and economic justice. We share that commitment, and we're not afraid to stand up and say that we need to change some of the way that the country does business.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
The most important issue on this planet right now is to protect and conserve biodiversity in the world's oceans. And I don't think people realize just how intimate our connection is with the oceans themselves. Not only do they provide the very foundation of life and control our weather, but life just simply could not exist without a healthy ocean. The real problem, though, is apathy. It's all out of sight, it's all out of mind, and people don't even think about it. But it doesn't matter whether you live in Peoria or on the coast. The fact is, whatever happens in the ocean affects all life forms on the planet Earth. If the oceans die, then civilization collapses. We all die. We cannot live on this planet without the oceans. This is, in fact, not the planet Earth. It's the planet ocean, but because we're a land-dwelling species, we refer to it as Earth. But it is the planet ocean, and the oceans are the heart and the foundation of all life on the planet.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for?
Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Oh, whoa, here we go. On a Friday, September 2nd. What? That just snuck up on me this morning is all. There's a lot going on. It's the Friday before a 3-day weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend as we approach Labor Day weekend. I was just, it took me by surprise is all. Hi, everyone. It's the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. What a show we have. It's going to be a very interesting, a very different type of show. But I'm telling you, the Friday shows before the 3-day weekend, that's the sweet spot, y'all. Those are the shows you want to be locked in for. Strap in. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a white-knuckle ride until 9 o'clock when we go off the air and begin our Labor Day celebration. Like I said, my name is Peter Ogburn. I am here today on a journey through politics and all other things. September 2nd. Jamie Benson is running the board. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, Peter. Did you inhale an 8-ball before coming in here this morning?
No, not me.
Got a lot of energy.
I'm doing great.
That's good.
I'm doing great.
Everybody should be this excited on a Friday. You're right.
You know what happened? I went to bed last night, 7:45.
Oh.
7:45.
You crushed it.
I haven't gone to bed that early in a long time. And I'm still, recovering from this past weekend when I camped out at a music festival for 4 days with my children. Honestly, I am not joking when I say I just now feel recovered.
Your body finally said, all right, we'll cool the jets.
Yeah. If you ever think
it's time to power down.
If you have the thought to yourself, okay, but maybe I'm a little too old to go to a music festival. You definitely are too old to go to a music festival. I found that out the hard way when I went to one this past weekend with my kids, camping out, staying up late. It was a nightmare. Waking up early, it's just a nightmare.
Well, this is good news because we are both well rested. I feel great this morning as well.
I got a text from you at 8 something last night. Didn't get it till I woke up.
I was pleased to see you waited until this morning to respond.
Yeah, no, I was out. I was gone. I was lights out. 7:45. I was in bed. At 7 p.m. and I watched a little idiot box on the iPad. That crashed out. 7:45. So I feel like I have superpowers.
I went to bed at 9.
I'm unstoppable today.
I watched the Patriots and went to bed.
I nothing can stop me.
Good.
That's the biggest night of sleep I've had in a long time. Ray Rogers is out today, beginning her Labor Day plans a little early. So we have Javon the Don Paris screening your calls at 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. And if you're watching us on Free Speech TV or youtube.com/TawkrTV, TAWKR-TV, you could thank Cyprian Bolding, who is here doing what he can with what he has to work with. I mentioned the number, 866-55-PRESS. You're going to need that. Get ready to call in and talk to the one and only Javon Paris. By the way, if for nothing else, just give Javon a call, right? Javon's got that velvety, smooth voice, right? Just give him a call.
Don't confuse him for a football player, because that's happened this week.
Javon Paris, not Javon Curse, as someone found out when they called his cell phone. You could have totally been a football player, by the way. But he is not Javon Kearse, the football player. We just have to put that out.
He'll sign autographs as him, though. Make a little money.
You should totally do that.
Damn right, he says.
You should totally do that. I'm trying to think of if anybody ever mistook me for someone else. Shut up, Cyprian.
There's a couple.
Cyprian, there's a couple.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Ralphie from A Christmas Story is one that I've gotten.
And folks, if you open up your comics pages in the newspaper this morning,
Family Circus Dad,
you will find
Family Circus Dad is another one that I've
Peter
gotten.
Ogburn inside the what is it, the egg panel?
Yeah. The little Family Circus circular panel. I think my favorite one was someone that said I look like a chubby J.J. Watt.
I forgot about that one.
That's messed
man,
up.
Nothing can stop you this morning.
No,
you're rolling right past these.
That's hurt. No,
all right.
Hey, doesn't matter to me, man. My feelings don't get hurt. Not by that. Someone mistook me for McKay Coppins from BuzzFeed, which is a stretch, but it was at a party, and McKay is he's a Mormon. He doesn't drink, and that's sort of his thing. He's the Mormon reporter guy. And they're like, "Oh, are you McKay Coppins?" I chugged a beer and said, "Yeah."
Good move.
So, anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, by the way. We've got a lot left over on Donald Trump and his Mexico trip, his Mexico visit, how he's going to handle undocumented people here in America. He promised that there will be quite a bit of softening on immigration. I'm going to explain to you what he means by that and let you hear some of what he means by that. But first,
this is the Full
Jamie
Court
Benson.
Press.
Just a couple of other stories for you on this.
Sorry,
you're in that chair today.
Trying to intro you.
On the Friday morning. Hey, Colin Kaepernick, 49ers quarterback.
You hear about this guy?
In the news yesterday in a big way. Started out in the morning where a reporter tweeted out a picture of Colin Kaepernick wearing socks with pictures of cartoon pigs wearing police hats, which I think you can figure out the message there. Turns out
very subtle.
Not very subtle. Turns out the picture was actually from a couple of weeks ago. Colin Kaepernick at practice wearing these socks, saying pretty much he's upset with rogue police forces, in his words. The day continues. Colin Kaepernick issues a statement, apologizes, saying he doesn't want to be a distraction. And, of course, the 49ers had a game last night against the San Diego Chargers on Salute to the Military night in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium.
Perfect.
So here's what happened. Colin Kaepernick, instead of just full-on sitting during the national anthem, took a knee. He kneeled during the national anthem, which is something that he came up with his teammate Eric Reed, who happens to be a former Army Green Beret and a long snapper for the team. They had a discussion, said this was probably the best way to handle it, meet somewhere in the middle. Kaepernick, after the game, again defending himself, saying he loves America and he just wants his message to be heard.
But I think that's fine. Taking a knee is fine. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with him sitting down either. Good for him. I am a little tired, maybe, of just the stuff surrounding the whole story, but good for him. And I don't even care about the pig socks. Fine.
I don't either. I just think it maybe was not.
It's a little on the nose. It's a little on the nose.
You're walking around town with him, maybe bring him to practice. It's gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Yesterday, huge explosion at the SpaceX launch in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Did you see the video of this?
It's insane.
It is enormous.
It's like a Michael Bay size.
I'm watching the nightly
explosion.
news last night. Literally played this thing back 4 times because of how big it was. So here's what happened. An explosion destroyed the rocket and a satellite that was actually due to launch on Saturday. So yesterday morning was a test launch. The rocket was supposed to be carrying a satellite to be used by Facebook, of all folks, to bring internet access to Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Still don't know what happened. We don't know how the explosion was caused. What does this mean for SpaceX's launch schedule? They have 9 more scheduled launches for 2016. Again, it depends on how exactly this happened. If they have a rocket problem, which could be the case, there's going to be a lot of delays for 2016, which means more of these types of businesses in the market, more of these SpaceX businesses.
It's sort of fascinating the way that this all came about because the Facebook thing that you talk about, Facebook was putting a satellite up.
Yep.
To bring internet to Africa specifically, areas that don't have good connectivity.
Which is huge.
It's a big, big deal. I do kind of, I don't know, there is some humor in the fact that a $95 million satellite that Facebook put together is gone, but... Ugh.
And finally, Brian Williams, after a disgraceful year last year, of course, he has returned to the airwaves in a limited role. He's been on MSNBC since leaving NBC Nightly News, that anchor chair. He's been doing breaking news hits for MSNBC. MSNBC finally announcing yesterday that Brian Williams will be getting his own nightly show. It's at 11 p.m. on weeknights. It's a half-hour program titled The 11th Hour. Ooh, a little corny there.
I hate that.
The show will be on air up until at least Election Day. The idea there is that Brian Williams sends Americans into the night. I'm gonna watch it if some nights when we can watch it, maybe Friday nights, and maybe I'll catch it.
I will never watch it just because of when it's on. But whatever.
I'm still a big Brian Williams fan.
I'm all for his rehab and his image. Coming back.
This is a good next step.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, really quickly, thoughts to Florida. I know we got a lot of Florida listeners and viewers. Hurricane Hermine, it's now a tropical storm. It hit Florida. It's the first hurricane to hit Florida in a little while. Florida's sort of dodged a couple of them here in recent years. But in 11 years, the first Florida hurricane in 11 years. It looked like it might hit South Carolina, North Carolina, and then it sort of moved closer to Florida. Lots and lots and lots of rain all along the southeast there, so the southeastern coast. So be careful out there, Florida. It's a big, big deal when any of these things come about. It doesn't look like it's the strongest hurricane, but, of course, flash flooding is a real problem. They've already rescued, I saw here, 19 people from flash floods in Florida.
Wow.
So, yeah, be careful out there. Be careful out there. Okay, so Donald Trump, yesterday when we were talking about his trip to Mexico and then his heartless speech on immigration Wednesday evening, he certainly didn't show any signs of softening. First, on his Mexico trip, he didn't show any signs of being tough either. He just sort of sat there, never brought up the wall, never brought up payment for the wall, and left. He didn't ask Mexico for payment or anything like that. And you got to remember, this is part of his plan. He has said Mexico will pay for the wall, and he's shown no way, no path in which that's going to happen. Okay? So there's that first. But here, this is very, very, very telling about the mind of Donald Trump and how out of touch he is with how things get done. This is his whole shtick. I could get things done. I'm a businessman. I make things happen. I get deals done. Believe me. So he went on Laura Ingram's radio show yesterday, and she says, "You're going to be asked this, so I might as well ask it. The line last week was that you were softening on immigration. Then you come out with a very specific, very pro-enforcement plan last night." This was Wednesday night. "Where is the softening?" So we did get word that he might be talking about a virtual wall, and then he might be softening off of the deporting 11 million undocumented people here in America. And then he gave that speech, which he just doubled down on all the horrible rhetoric that he had said all throughout the campaign. Get them all out of here, build the wall, Mexico's going to pay for it. This is what Donald Trump said to Laura Ingraham. And listen carefully, listen very carefully. I'm quoting Donald Trump. Quote, "Obviously, I want to get the gang members out, the drug peddlers out. I want to get the drug dealers out. We've got a lot of people in this country that you can't have, and those people we will get out. And then we're going to make a decision at a later date once everything is stabilized." Listen up here. I think you're going to see there's really quite a bit of softening. End quote. So, all this talk about softening that Donald Trump fought and said, not going to happen, never going to happen, I'm never going to soften on anything. He himself, verbatim, you're going to see there's really quite a bit of softening. But to get back to what I was saying is, like, how this shows he doesn't know how this is going to get done. This makes absolutely no sense. He says we're going to get everybody out. We're going to do it in a very humane way. But then we're going to make a decision as to who we let back in. I mean, it was already a convoluted plan to get everybody out of the country that is not a legal citizen. But then he's going to have some sort of a test to let some people back in. It's so convoluted. It's just insane. It doesn't make any sense on any level, and it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not doable. And we got a lot of calls yesterday at 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377, which is where I'd like to hear from you today. But we got one call in particular that said, we have a problem with illegal immigration. We have a problem with people coming over here illegally. And that's a fair point. That is an issue. We do have millions of people who are here who haven't gone through the process and are, as they say, jumping over the line of people who are waiting to do it legally. I understand that. I hear that. That's an issue. Can we realistically round all of those people and throw them out of the country? No, we can't. It's not going to happen. Despite what Donald Trump says. And one of Donald Trump's leaders of Hispanic outreach yesterday resigned. He left. He quit. Because he just goes, not only is this cruel, it's just not doable. It's cruel. It's impractical. And yet, I still think Republicans are going to buy this hook, line, and sinker. There's still a large chunk of Republicans are still going to come out and vote for Donald Trump. What do you think? 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. Can Trump sell this pile of manure to the Republican voters? 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. I have a lot more to say on this, and we'll hear Trump in his own words right after this.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay. So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To
not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. All right, so you probably have heard a lot of people throw around the word fascist for Trump, right? Fascist, fascism. Here is the textbook definition of fascism: an authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization. Extreme right-wing, authoritarian, or intolerant views or practice. I would say that fits. And Donald Trump yesterday giving sort of a rambling speech that just never really touched on the Mexico stuff, but wanted to find a way to sort of backhandedly get into the Colin Kaepernick stuff where he talks, the first one where he says he's going to strengthen respect for the flags.
The flag all of you helped to protect and preserve. That flag deserves respect, and I will work with the American Legion to help to strengthen respect for our flag. You see what's happening? It's very, very sad.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a guy running around for president saying that America is not great. That's the double standard that you're hearing with people saying that, oh, Colin Kaepernick, how dare he? But they're Trump supporters. Donald Trump is literally saying that America is a doomed, violent, horrible, dark vision. But he can get away with making fun of Colin Kaepernick?
This is the Bill Press Show.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
What this place needs is better graduation rates.
What this place needs is less childhood obesity.
What this place needs is free help with taxes.
What this place needs is healthy breakfast.
What this place needs is fitness programs for kids.
What this place needs is early readers.
What this place needs is mentors for teens.
What this place needs is people to join us. What this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show, 33 minutes past the hour. Peter Ogburn in for Bill Press today, Friday, September 2nd, as we head into the Labor Day weekend. Boy, am I excited to lay low this weekend. As you can see, Jamie Benson is wearing a hooded sweatshirt because the temperatures have temporarily dropped here in Washington.
It's weird.
It was bizarre weather this morning.
I like hoodie season though. I'm not ready for it, but I like.
I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I appreciate. I like when it cools down a little bit. Give me cold weather over hot weather any day of the week. Come on, don't waffle. You were waffling about that.
Okay, if I had to choose between dead of winter,
all right, hear me out. You walk outside appropriately dressed in 45-degree weather. Versus walking outside in 100-degree weather.
Yeah, but at 45 is not that bad. Like the extreme.
Okay, let's say 35.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take the 35.
35 is cold, right? That's like cold.
Yeah. As long as I'm well dressed, yeah, I'll probably take it.
Yeah. Any day of the week.
I just like wearing shorts. You don't like wearing shorts.
I don't wear shorts. I
like the feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
I'm a true American.
Is that right? The feeling of freedom, he says. We had to have a whole conversation when we were staying in Philadelphia together at our Airbnb. I had to prepare Jamie for the fact.
Oh, you're bringing this up.
That because I, too, love freedom.
Yeah, you do.
I had to prepare Jamie for the fact that when I am at home, when I am in my domain, I am not going out anymore. I wear a sarong. Javon nearly fell out of his chair. That's true.
Peter, will you explain for the listeners what a sarong is?
It's a large, flowery wrap that I put around myself. Like it's like a large sheet that I put around and you tie off, and it's like wearing a Monty, who was there staying with us, when he saw it, he goes, "Man, what are you wearing, a kilt?" Nothing is better. It's like wearing a skirt, but nothing is better. You talk about comfort and freedom, my friend. Have I got the solution for you?
It was the perfect city to wear it in. I mean, land of liberty.
I'm telling you. I was the most comfortable man in Philadelphia. Believe that. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number, 866-557-7377. We're talking about Donald Trump and more fallout from his Mexico trip and his promise to have Mexico build the wall and his admission yesterday that there's going to be, quote, quite a bit of softening, end quote, on immigration. 866-55-PRESS is the number that Tim called. He is in Shelby, Montana. What's up, Tim?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling, dude. What's your take?
I think Republicans will vote for Donald Trump, and this is why. The Republican Party has been playing the racist, ignorant demographic longer than I've been on the planet, and I'll be 57 the 18th of this month. I'll take your comments about that off air.
Tim, happy early birthday, and thank you for giving us a call. I think it's a no-brainer for Republicans. They are running to Donald Trump. I know that plenty of them have said they're not going to vote, but the base, they love this. They love this. They love this hard-nosed, hard-line talk with Mexico or about Mexico. But there's a flaw in their logic. And Jamie, can I jump ahead to Tim Kaine? Because Tim Kaine spoke yesterday. And look, Donald Trump had the opportunity to put his money where his mouth was. He had the chance to go to Mexico and say, we're building a wall. You're going to pay for it. Let's talk about me getting my check to pay for the wall. Right? That's sort of how he could have gone to Mexico and at least had the conversation about how they are going to pay for the wall. But as Tim Kaine points out,
boy, when he got back here, it was like, we're going to make Mexico do this. He was like all fired up. But when he had the chance to sit down and look the other leader in the eye, it was like he choked, he caved, he lost his confidence, he lost his will. He couldn't just be honest with that person.
That's it. That's the problem with Donald Trump. He is giving nothing but lip service to people who are considering voting for him. Tim Kaine hit the nail right on the head. Listen to Trump himself. We're going to make Mexico pay for it. We're going to make Mexico pay for it.
We will build a great wall along the southern border, and Mexico will pay for the wall.
So why wouldn't you tell Mexico that? Why wouldn't you tell the president of Mexico that when you were there face to face? Why wouldn't you do that? Because he's not going to. That's why. That's why. Oh, but don't believe me, or don't believe what I have to say about it. Mike Pence, Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate yesterday, says that, oh, no, there was no need to talk about it.
I can tell you for a fact that both sides fully understood before the meeting that they disagreed on who would pay for the wall. Both sides had already arrived at a clear understanding of that. There was really no need to discuss that at the meeting.
Play the first part of that again, Jamie, if you can. Just the first part.
I can tell you for a fact that both sides fully understood before the meeting that they disagreed.
Okay, all right. So they have a disagreement, right? So instead of weaving together that masterful deal that Donald Trump claims that he's able to do, he was just like, oh, well, we disagree, so let's not talk about it. We'll just take it off the table. That's not how it works. That's not how politics works. That's not how you get things done. If you go and meet, let's say he's president, and he has to go meet with a Democratic House or a Democratic Senate, which we will probably have after the election. Let's say he has to go there, and let's say it's background checks. And the House and the Senate are both saying, we got to have background checks. And Donald Trump says no. Just because you have an understanding that you disagree on something before you have a meeting doesn't mean that you just leave it off of the agenda. If you're going to go there and you're going to start this relationship and you're going to force somebody to pay for something and you're going to put them on the hook for it, you've got to negotiate. You've got to have the conversation, not just avoid it altogether. If not now, when? They're still going to disagree about this in 2 months. They're still going to disagree about this in 6 months when he conceivably could be president. So, like, is he just going to build the wall and then just, like, send an invoice to Mexico and wait for them to pay for it? Because that's not exactly how business works. I mean, that's how Donald Trump does business. If you listen to a lot of the people that work with him and the contractors, he's nearly put out of business because he hires them to do work and then doesn't pay them because he thinks somebody else should pay for it. That's actually the realer look, the more realistic look at his history as a businessman. Countless stories have come out, especially around Atlantic City, where he would start a project, hire a group, they would start working on it, they would get it done, they would come looking for payment, and then Donald Trump says, I don't have that money. I don't have that money that we had talked about. That's what's going to happen in Mexico if he gets the chance. That's how he is going to be president. Writing checks that you can't cash. That's the Donald Trump legacy. So I honestly, I can't figure out why he didn't bring it up with Nieto from Mexico. Other than, like, what Tim Kaine says, he just sort of folded. He had a chance and he choked. He caved. ABC, always be closing. A, always be, B, C, closing. You know that. Donald Trump couldn't do it. Anyway, 866-55-PRESS. That's our phone number. 866-557-7377. Let's take a quick break. We've got some other stuff to talk about on the other side here, including some monster fundraising numbers for one of the presidential candidates. We'll tell you who after this break. It's the Bill Press Show with me, your host, Peter Ogburn, sitting in. We'll be right back.
Your place to talk about the 2016 election. This is the Bill Press Show.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Columbine, Virginia Tech,
Tucson,
Aurora,
Fort Hood, Oak Creek,
Newtown.
Newtown,
Newtown.
Newtown.
How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now.
As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show. Hi, I'm Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill today. I appreciate your tweets about my sarong wearing. It is peak comfort. Our friend Margaret weighs in. Jamie, please tell Peter the sarong is a dress, please. I don't know that I disagree with that. I mean, it's more of a skirt than a dress.
That's good. That's a good walk back right there.
But it is peak comfort. It is the most comfortable piece of clothing that I own, without a doubt. A couple of things really quickly on just some leftovers on the Trump thing. On his immigration speech, he had huge ratings. Fox News saw 5.2 million total viewers during the immigration speech. CNN had 2.2 million. MSNBC had 1.9 million. So a lot of people tuned in for it. And one final thought on this, I'm sure we'll get back to it. Marco Gutierrez, he's the founder of Latinos for Trump. He was on TV yesterday, and he was talking about the horrible vision of America if Mexicans continue to take over.
We need to understand that this is a different time, and we're having problems here. We need to reform.
What problems are you talking about?
My culture is a very dominant culture, and it's imposing and it's causing problems. If you don't do something about it, you're going to have taco trucks every corner.
Okay. Oh, God. A self-loathing Latino who says his culture is an imposing culture. Okay, so I lived in Texas for a little while. I lived in San Antonio, right? And I have to say, of all the places that I've lived in plenty of places here in this fine country. The culture there was wonderful. It was amazing. And it wasn't one of these things that like I never felt oppressed as a white man in San Antonio, Texas, but there was a very clear imprint on the culture from the Mexican population. And that's cool. I'm good with that. And also, is he threatening me that there's going to be taco trucks on every corner? Because I'm okay with that. I love taco trucks.
You know, even here in D.C., in Columbia Heights, which is a neighborhood that is gentrified, but also still pretty heavily Latino.
Absolutely.
There are mostly women, Hispanic women, on damn near every corner.
Yep.
Selling Mexican soft drinks, Mexican fruit.
Yep.
Sometimes Mexican dishes, in some cases tacos.
And I am totally
I have no problem with it.
I love it. In fact, it's a bonus.
Did Marco like trade in tacos for a mayonnaise sandwich? It's got a full white person.
I'm waiting for Marco to be like, I can't have these taco trucks, man. I need a cucumber sandwich. I mean, on the occasion that I have to go to the DMV, directly across from the DMV, quite smartly, there are 5 taco trucks parked right outside the DMV. I have never gone to the DMV and not gone to the taco trucks. Sometimes more than one.
What do you do while you wait?
Exactly.
Go to the taco truck.
Go to the taco truck.
If you don't do something about it, you're going to have taco trucks every corner.
Please. Hillary Clinton should come out and say, if I'm president, I'll put a taco truck on every corner. It would be the greatest thing. It would be the greatest thing. I would be so here for it. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, a couple of tidbits on the Hillary Clinton campaign. First of all, can we play the Joe Biden silver spoon? Because he was in Ohio yesterday. He was campaigning not only for Hillary Clinton but for Ted Strickland, and he talked about Donald Trump's with the silver spoon in his mouth.
This is a guy born with a silver spoon in his mouth that now he's choking on because his foot's in his mouth along with the spoon.
Joe Biden is the greatest, but that was not the best delivery. That was
guy born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
That was Costanza-esque. Yeah, well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you. But Joe Biden having a very strong appearance otherwise there in Ohio. Also, Monday, Labor Day in New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders is going to hit the trail. He's going to be out there campaigning for Hillary Clinton. This is going to be his first solo campaign appearance since his big endorsement of Hillary Clinton when they appeared on stage together back in July. According to the Hillary Clinton campaign and an announcement they put out, Sanders will discuss Hillary Clinton's plan to build an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top, and Donald Trump's plan, which would benefit himself and other millionaires and billionaires. That is going to be at 3 p.m. at a high school in Lebanon, New Hampshire. If you want to watch that, I'm sure all of the cable news outlets will be carrying that. Also, Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, they are sitting on a pile of cash. They had a gigantic August, which is when they had to announce their fundraising numbers. $143 million for the Hillary Clinton campaign and for the Democratic Party. That is her biggest monthly haul yet. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Just to dig into the numbers a little bit, this is from the Washington Post's Mateo Gold. Campaign officials announced Thursday that donors contributed about $62 million to her campaign committee and another $81 million to the Democratic National Committee and state parties in August. That is a huge growth from the $90 million that Clinton and the party jointly raised in July. So big numbers.
And we talked to Jennifer Duffy earlier this week from the Cook Political Report. She said Democrats really only need 4 or 5 seats to turn the Senate. She said both are likely. This just bolsters it.
This will help. I mean, you got to remember, Hillary Clinton is doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
All of the polls in battleground states and national polls all sort of show her way up. So you got to assume that a lot of this money is going to be going into the state level races. And great. I think that's wonderful. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number, 866-557-7377. My name is Peter Ogburn. I am sitting in for Bill Press. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Hey,
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Psy Guy on Twitter just says, Peter Sarong, it's been good to know you.
I'll take it.
I've outed myself as a sarong wearer. That's okay. I wore it at that music festival I was at this weekend. I got a lot of dap for that. People saw it.
Do your kids get embarrassed?
No.
A couple of years from now.
I shouldn't say no so quickly. My oldest did ask me one time when his friend was coming over. He goes, "Hey, can you go put on some pants?" It's a fair request. By the way, I don't know if you saw this this op-ed in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. This is one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen. Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, he had a byline with, of all people, Pamela Anderson, former Playboy playmate. They wrote an op-ed to say that pornography is actually bad. Quote, simply put, we must educate ourselves and our children to understand that porn is for losers, a boring, wasteful, and dead-end outlet for people too lazy to reap the ample rewards of healthy sexuality, end quote.
Pamela Anderson, also former star of a sex tape.
Did a sex tape, has posed nude many, many times, a star of pornography herself. Look, guys, there's nothing wrong with porn if you use it healthy. Get out of here. What do you guys know? Ugh.
This is the Bill Press Show.
In your new role, we help you help.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
I wish I was in school.
If only I had a math test today.
Or a book report to give.
I wish I was in school.
I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess.
I wish I was in school.
I wish I was in school.
I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
The most important issue on this planet right now is to protect and conserve biodiversity in the world's oceans. And I don't think people realize just how intimate our connection is with the oceans themselves. Not only do they provide the very foundation of life and control our weather, but life just simply could not exist without a healthy ocean. The real problem, though, is apathy. It's all out of sight, it's all out of mind, and people don't even think about it. But it doesn't matter whether you live in Peoria or on the coast. The fact is, whatever happens in the ocean affects all life forms on the planet Earth. If the oceans die, then civilization collapses. We all die. We cannot live on this planet without the oceans. This is, in fact, not the planet Earth. It's the planet ocean, but because we're a land-dwelling species, we refer to it as Earth. But it is the planet ocean, and the oceans are the heart and the foundation of all life on the planet.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hi, everybody. It is a Friday, September 2nd. It is me, Peter Ogburn. I am sitting in for Bill Press today. Bill's got today off, so you're stuck with the inmates running the asylum, as it were. Not only is Bill out, Ray Rogers is out, so we have just me and Jamie Benson and Cyprian Bolding here trying to hold things down, along with Javon Paris screening your calls at 866-55-PRESS. Jamie, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
You good? Just hanging in there?
No,
You're not doing excellent?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm
It's Friday.
I'm at peak energy excitement level. I got to bed early last night. It's the Friday before Labor Day weekend.
Well, we have someone new in the studio. The energy is just continuing to rise.
Washington correspondent for USA Today, Paul Singer, is here. Paul, how are you, sir?
Wake me up when you guys are done celebrating. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. What are you talking about? The Friday of Labor Day weekend. Great.
Follow Paul on Twitter at Singer News. Read his good work at usatoday.com. And also the host of Cup of Politics podcast.
Woohoo, thanks for the plug.
You should totally go check it out.
You should totally go check it out. Download it on iTunes. Party up.
Do you have any big plans for Labor Day?
Well, I'm working.
Yeah.
So
those count as plans.
Those count as plans.
Those count as plans.
I plan to grumble and regret.
And it's one of the things that we do best here in #ThisTown.
Exactly.
Jamie, do you have any big Labor Day plans?
Going to take my girlfriend to Rose's tonight, actually.
Oh, all right.
Probably shouldn't have said that on air because it was supposed to be a surprise.
Ooh.
Are you getting online now?
She's not watching. Yeah. Jamie actually has to leave the show.
Right now.
We
over
go off
there.
the air at 9
Take a
and
folding
set
chair.
up a chair outside to wait so that you can get a good spot. Does she watch the show?
She does. I haven't gotten the good morning text yet, so I think I'm.
Nobody tweet that. Nobody tweet
Everybody
that.
just
Everyone
shut up. Don't say anything.
Don't blow up my spot, please.
Don't tell Jamie's girlfriend that she's going to an undisclosed restaurant. I'm not going to say it.
Undisclosed location.
I'm not going to say it, but... all right. Well, Paul, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Jamie, let's just get right into it.
This is the Full Court Press.
I think you're supposed to say, but first.
I know.
Just a couple of other stories for you on this Friday morning. Hey, you remember that tweet? It was less than a week ago, Donald Trump on Twitter. Dwayne Wade's cousin was just shot and killed walking her baby in Chicago. Just what I have been saying. African Americans will vote Trump.
What a bad tweet.
How horrible of a tweet that was.
Never tweet.
Dwayne Wade, the NBA basketball player, former Miami Heat player, now Chicago Bulls player, finally publicly reacting to that tweet from Trump about his cousin who tragically died in a gun violence in Chicago. Here is what he said on Good Morning America this morning with George Stephanopoulos.
On one end, I was grateful that it started a conversation, but on the other end, it's just a bad taste in my mouth because of of what my family is dealing with and what our city of Chicago is dealing with, and it looks like it's been used as a political game.
Politicians tie themselves to tragedies all the time, but let's be clear, there is a certain art to it.
And you should spell the guy's name right.
And you should, at the very least, spell the guy's name right. This was a pretty gross tweet.
Good for Dwayne Wade for coming forward
glad he
and
came out.
Saying something about it. We go to the state of South Carolina, Peter Ogburn's homeland.
Yes, indeed.
Interesting story here involving Zika. Okay, obviously there's a lot of scare emanating from Florida, but there's some
I got
fear.
thoughts on this. Tell the story. I got
fear that it'll push further up the coast. South Carolina authorities have reportedly killed off millions of bees by spraying pesticides, which are meant to kill Zika-carrying mosquitoes. Dorchester County is one particular county in South Carolina.
That's my home county.
There you go. It's gone above and beyond.
I know the story very well.
They say 2.5 million bees in one bee farm alone were killed in one day. Peter.
Do y'all know the difference between a bee and a mosquito? I'm just asking. I mean, it's
the
possible.
Mosquitoes get as big as bees in Dorchester County. Here's the thing. Here. So they do this every year. They spray. But because of the Zika stuff, they accelerated it, and they did it without warning.
The bees?
They didn't warn it. They didn't warn the bees.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Dorchester County is actually, no kidding, it is a giant honey-producing county for South Carolina. So there are a ton of beekeepers. In fact, there is a place in Dorchester County called Bee City I used to go to as a kid. It had like a really bad petting zoo, but also they had just tons of bees where they make honey and they sell it like in the grocery stores. They make so much. So it's a giant bee farm. And they didn't give anybody any warning this time. They just sprayed and killed all those bees.
I come on this show because I learn stuff. This is like learning.
Knowledge darts.
Knowledge darts.
I'm hitting you with knowledge darts.
So, are we going to have a honey shortage?
There's going to be a real problem because there are people in South Carolina whose whole careers, like legacies, right? Generations of people in South Carolina, in Dorchester County, have raised bees to make honey. And now, dead. It's crazy.
Wow. And finally, here in the 7 o'clock hour.
But we got the mosquitoes, though, too.
There you go. We hope.
Samsung this morning announcing that they'll be recalling millions of new Galaxy Note 7 smartphones worldwide because there were reports that these devices have been catching fire when plugged in.
This is supposed to be good phones, by the way. People like this phone.
Yeah. Bad timing for Samsung. Of course,
Save
Apple
the exploding battery.
Apple is expected to announce their new iPhone 7 next week.
That's right.
In Cupertino.
Bad timing.
Samsung will be taking 2 weeks here to figure out how they're going to handle this recall. The problem, of course, originates with the battery in some of the phones. They're going to have to halt the sales of the Galaxy Note 7.
The advertising seems to be perfect. Buy an Apple phone. It will not explode in your hand.
It will not explode in your hand.
That's all you need.
I just got a replacement phone because the battery on my old iPhone was about to explode. They told me flat out. My screen had popped out of the casing.
Bulging.
It was bulging. And they said, oh, yeah, no, that's the battery. It's so inflated, like if you waited much longer, it could very well explode. So, like, I don't know. We're walking around with little death machines in our pocket.
I don't want to know about it. Yeah.
Are you an iPhone guy? Are you a?
Well, I'm a rotary dial phone.
I think
at
you're
home,
like a typewriter guy. You like walking around with a typewriter to write your text.
I have a rotary phone in my house, and people every now and then come look and look. What does this do?
Paul is like a throwback.
But yes, no, I do have an iPhone, and I'm a dial phone.
I think it's cool how Paul walked around with a fax machine strapped onto his back.
Yeah, exactly.
Full-time newspaper man.
Yeah.
No
Do
doubt.
you guys have a modem somewhere I can plug in?
I've got a pipe in it. Well, Sonny.
Paul Singer is with us. He is the Washington correspondent for USA Today. Follow him on Twitter at Singer News, as I mentioned. So, Paul, let's just jump right into the week that Donald Trump has had, because he's been one thing, then he's another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. He's really been all over the place on immigration. Just to walk you, the listener, through this roller coaster of emotions. We found out that he was going to make an impromptu visit to Mexico.
Yes.
Conservatives started saying, hey, maybe he's going to go to Mexico and demand the check for the wall. And then he got there, and then the wall conversation didn't really happen.
Well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't.
Right, right.
Keep in mind that Donald Trump was asked directly, did you talk about paying for the wall? Which, of course, every Donald Trump speech is, we're going to build a wall. And who's going to pay for it? Mexico.
By the way, just to point out, it's not just rhetoric. It's not just campaign rhetoric. Like, if you go to his website and you look at his policies and you look at how he's going to make these things happen, it's explicitly put out there. Mexico will pay for this wall.
Correct. And he was asked specifically, did you talk to the Mexican president about paying for the wall? And Trump said, well, it didn't come up. And the Mexican president tweeted almost immediately, oh, yes, it did. And I said, no way. And he yesterday repeated it, another tweet saying, just to repeat, I told Donald Trump we will never pay for his wall.
So who's lying here?
It's not my... I'm not in the who's lying business. All I can tell you is there are two sides to every wall.
So after this meeting, Donald Trump immediately went back out there and yesterday morning sent a tweet, said, Mexico will pay for a wall. He gave his big immigration speech, which was as vitriolic as any other speech he's given this season.
Well, it was the same set of immigration policies, by and large, that he's been campaigning on the entire season. We had been talking for 2 weeks about a softening. He met with a Latino council, which was going to help him sort of figure out a more compassionate way to deal with the illegal immigrants who are here in the country. And none of it. And they sort of built this thing up to be a big immigration speech, as if there's going to be an unveiling of some sort.
Yeah.
But it unveiled exactly the same policies, pretty much, that he'd been talking about through the whole season. And we've already seen now several of those Latino advisors now saying, well, screw it. And they've stepped away. They're no longer supporting Mr. Trump. They're no longer on the council. It looks like he did not make inroads with his new speech. So
I would say I think that's a fair assessment, Paul.
So then you ask, and this is the question I really don't know as somebody who watches politics, is what exactly did he gain from the whole week? Right,
Yeah.
from the week of talking about possibly softening, from the week of talking about new policies, and then you end up pretty much basically exactly where you started. What did you gain as a candidate from that experience? It doesn't strike me as strong
You've confused
message.
everyone.
It doesn't strike me as strong message control. You've confused everyone. That's exactly right.
We follow this stuff. I am thoroughly and utterly confused, which he didn't help yesterday when he went on Laura Ingram's radio show. Here's what he had to say about the softening.
Oh, there's softening. Look, we do it in a very humane way, and we're going to see with the people that are in the country. Obviously, I want to get the gang members out, the drug peddlers out. I want to get the drug dealers out. We get a lot of people in this country that you can't have, and those people will get out. And then we're going to make a decision at a later date once everything is stabilized. I think you're going to see there's really quite a bit of softening.
Quite a bit of softening.
But nothing wrong with my hands. But look, Obama deports something on average of like 400,000 people a year.
Yep.
In the current administration.
Yep.
And has been accused by Latinos of being the deporter in chief.
Yep.
For his he apparently is historic records of the number of people he's sending back.
Yep.
The question becomes,
as Bill Press wrote about in his book, Buyer's Remorse.
There you go. Buy Bill Press's book. On sale now. See, if Bill worked Fridays, we wouldn't have to plug his book for him. But so, you have to ask this question: where do the resources come from to deport these apparently additional people who need to be at the top of the list? And I'm not arguing that there are not people in this country who shouldn't be in this country. I'm saying, where do the resources come from in a Trump administration to do more, to step this up from 400 to what? 600,000, 800,000?
Right.
How many a year do you have to move out to get to the 11 million?
I also just find that his whole argument about the quite a bit of softening and how he's going to do it. So just to look into what his comments, I want to get the gang members out, the drug peddlers out, the drug dealers out. We're going to get them out of the country in a very humane way, and then we're going to make a decision at a later date once everything is stabilized. I honestly don't know what that means, because he hasn't backed off of sending 11 million people out of the country.
And I'm not particularly concerned about, getting the drug dealers out humanely.
No, neither am I.
Get them out however you want
look,
to.
If they're drug dealers, get them out of the country however you want. Fine. I'm going to fight you on that.
Put them on a boat and, send them back where.
That's hardly my issue.
Right, exactly.
What does he mean, though? I mean, with winnowing these people out and getting them out and then reevaluating, does it make any sense?
Not really. And
Okay.
and this is where we get to this. Those of us who have been in Washington a long time, we are part of the problem, who sort of track how government actually operates. We scratch our heads at a lot of this Donald Trump stuff because there is no there. There's no real sort of operational mechanism to make any of this happen. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea, right? I'm not saying Donald Trump is wrong. I'm saying there's no mechanism to make this stuff happen, but that doesn't seem to matter. Trump just sort of blows on past the mechanism.
How are you going to defeat ISIS? We're going to defeat them quickly. We're going to destroy them. We're going to destroy the whole operation. How? We're going to do it very quickly.
And take their oil.
And take their oil. Right.
Well, and
right,
some
right.
of the stuff is like, he says something, on the, I don't remember which speech it was, but something like, the violence in the inner cities, the first day of my administration will be over. Like, it won't.
Right. It's
Now,
not true.
Now, it's possible that on the 300th day of your administration, we'll see a drop in crime levels. Okay, that's a fair statement. But day one, it's going to stop? No, it's not. You don't control the city police.
And there's no way that he can explain how he's going to do it. That I think is what's. I mean, look, you've covered politics for a long time.
Too long.
Some would argue too long.
Some would argue.
But candidates find themselves twisting in the wind to try and find ways to defend their previous statements, right? Like even sometimes if it was a gaffe, even if it was something that they didn't necessarily mean to say, it looks worse for them to double back on something that they said than to try and blindly defend it.
Well, and also I go back to the Romney, the guy whose name I'm forgetting this morning, who said that Romney would do the Etch-a-Sketch.
The Etch-a-Sketch.
Right? Yeah, and he would shake it up and he'd come back to a more centrist position in the general election. Okay, that is actually fairly standard. But again, once you define your new position, which is sort of a nuance of your old position, you stand with it so that at least there's some place people know where they can find you.
Yeah.
The challenge for Trump and the challenge for people like me. I mean, I was telling you earlier before we went on the air that I'm building this device that allows people to compare the positions of the various candidates.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do with Trump because I'm trying to pick some positions that I know are not going to change, so I don't have to update this device every couple of days.
And he's on either side of just about every.
Well, and if you go back early enough, you go back 2006, 2007, 2005, they're very different positions.
John McCain, when he lost in 2008, the reaction from Republicans was he wasn't conservative enough.
Right.
When Mitt Romney lost in 2012, the reaction was he wasn't conservative enough. We need to get a real conservative, and that's how we went. Here we are in 2016. You look at poll after poll after poll. It's not looking good for Donald Trump. Who knows what could happen? But where do they go from here?
Well, I'm not.
I mean, they have the opportunity,
sure,
right?
I'm not sure that Trump is a real conservative.
I don't think so either.
And I don't mean this as a knock on Donald Trump and his policies. I don't believe that Donald Trump is a graduate of that school.
No.
In a way that someone like John Kasich, someone like certainly Scott Walker came from a more sort of traditional conservative, and certainly Ted Cruz came from a sort of more traditional conservative background. I don't think that Trump has conservative policy in his heart. He has conservative ideas in his mind, and he's speaking them, right?
It's very well put.
But he doesn't grow out of that tradition. And so some of the stuff is new to him.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know. I mean, it's an interesting question for the Republican Party. I mean, the whole idea was to revamp your primary system to make it more manageable and to end up with something you're going to be happier with that would appeal to Hispanics. So you read the autopsy in 2012, right? Here's all the things we're going to do to fix our process. And what they ended up with was this, which is not at all what they were hoping for.
23 minutes past the hour. Paul Singer is with us here for the half hour. He is Washington correspondent for USA Today. Follow him on Twitter at Singer News. Very quick break. We'll be right back with a couple of final thoughts on this.
Your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election. This is The Bill Press Show.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
We changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today? Let's do those pearly whites, man. Yeah! The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chair is gonna compare us.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine. Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome.
I think we're breathtaking.
And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that brand? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together. Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. I have Paul Singer in studio with us. Very, 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 very short segment here, Paul. What are you working on?
I'm going to write a story when I get back to the office this morning. I got some data from Google that's sort of interesting that Hillary Clinton illness searches started to trend on Google search, which just shows the power of the Trump machine is that he is able to generate an enormous amount of conversation about a topic even though there's no facts behind it.
It's amazing that this is sort of their last grasp here. They're trying to just hang on to anything to
cast
keep
whatever
hope alive.
doubt. Cast whatever doubts you can cast on the opponent, man.
Washington correspondent for USA Today, Paul Singer. Thank you so much for coming in. Listen to his podcast, Cup of Politics. Read his good work at usatoday.com. Follow him on Twitter at Singer News, and come back and see us again soon.
Thank you very much for having me. Love to be back.
All right, man. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill. Be
This
right back.
is the Bill Press Show.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
Yeah, it is the Bill Press Show. It's 33 minutes past the hour. I am clearly not Bill Press. My name is Peter Ogburn. I am sitting in for Bill Press today. It's 33 minutes past the hour. Big 3-day weekend, Labor Day weekend. Lots of stuff going on. I had like nothing going on. I'm going to a baseball game on Labor Day. I think that's it. Other than that, I'm not doing anything. Other than arguing with Cyprian over the difference between barbecuing and grilling. Because there is a difference. Follow the show on Twitter at BP Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Peter Ogburn, although you're really walking right into it if you do that. But people have been tweeting me all morning because I admitted that I wear a sarong at home. And people are sending me pictures of sarongs I should buy. Margaret Colvin sent me like a red one. It's too boring, Margaret. The one I have has giant flowers on it, and I love it. I'm not going to just get a boring red one.
Red's a sexy color.
I don't wear red.
No.
I don't wear red at all. It's angry.
You don't do the big sexy thing around the house?
No, it's angry. It's an angry color. I wear almost exclude black T-shirts in the summer.
As one does.
As one does. That's it. But around the house, I got my sarong, which is just a dark-colored sarong with big, bright flowers on it. Okay, I'm not going to get a red one. What do I want to draw more attention to myself? I'm a giant gork. Like I need more bright colors on me. Good God. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number. Thanks, everybody, for watching and for listening. A good friend of mine online is Marissa Kabas. She is Sex and Life reporter for Fusion. You could follow her on Twitter at Marissa Kabas. That's Kabas. Hey, Marissa, how's it going?
Hey, Peter. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I wanted to have you on to talk about a couple of different things because last week you did a really remarkable video all about Trump and the rise of Trumpism and what it means to a certain group of people. Tell me about it.
Sure. So I myself am the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. And I don't know if everyone remembers, but a couple months back, there's a tweet that Trump sent. There's so many tweets, so it's hard to remember which ones have offended us today. But at the time, it was a picture of Hillary Clinton that looked a lot like some Nazi propaganda. And it just really struck me that, hey, feelings of anti-Semitism and these, it's more than undertones at this point. It seems like pretty overt, and it just was a really eerie feeling that stuff like that had entered the present. You know, it's not something that we were just hearing about in stories from our grandparents. So I decided to gather other descendants of Holocaust survivors like me to talk about our collective anxieties and what the hell are we supposed to do right now.
I think it's a really, really great, smart piece because one of the things that we learn as we, those of us who are not of the Jewish faith, when we learn about things like the Holocaust, right, it's all about we have to learn about these things so that we don't repeat it. We can't have history repeat itself. We can never let something like this happen again. And yet, there is sort of a slow turn into the acceptance of certainly not, maybe not the full ideology of what the Holocaust stood for, but the slower, more subversive anti-Semitism. The tweet in which you're speaking of was the one that showed a sheriff's badge, but it wasn't a sheriff's badge. It was just the shape of a Star of David, insinuating that Hillary Clinton was crooked and corrupt. There was a pile of money that her face was superimposed on top of, which is a pretty direct sort of allegation that, you know, she is working with the Jewish media corporations or the Jewish donors and gathering up all this money.
Right.
It's a pretty ugly imagery. And so it's interesting that, like, it's just slipping by a lot of people. So what did you find when you spoke to other descendants of Holocaust survivors?
Well, it's really interesting because I was emailing with a bunch of different grandkids of survivors, and there's a lot of hesitance to be on camera and talk about this topic because there are so many trolls, and we've seen other Jews online be attacked simply for voicing pretty non-controversial opinions. So, you know, I ended up with a group of 3 other young people, all in our late 20s. And at first, you know, some of them were really hesitant to say that Donald Trump is an anti-Semite or he holds anti-Semitic opinions. And as the conversation evolved and we were all sitting there together and realizing that we had this shared past, this really horrifying past, there was a reason to be anxious. You know, is the danger imminent? I don't think so. I think that would be extreme to say. But we were basically talking about where does it begin and at what point should you start being scared that something like this could happen again. And so it just turned into a larger conversation about many minority groups who are feeling persecuted right now by Trump's rhetoric and feeling unwelcome and feeling like their people could, you know, face similar horrors to that of the Holocaust, being turned away, being not cared about, being denied their basic human rights. So really what we're dealing with is a potential massive human rights issue. And if you care about other humans, which, you know, you should be pretty worried right now.
You can check out the video at fusion.net, done by our guest right now, Marissa Kabis. You should definitely go check it out. Marissa, you also have a fascinating story that I wanted to talk to you about. It's a heavy topic, but it's an important one. This headline is, "Here's Why You Should Ask a Survivor About Her Rape." And this centers around one victim. Her name is Chessie Prout, who went on the Today Show earlier this week and talked about her experience as a rape victim. It's a touchy subject when it comes to how you talk to or about victims of rape. Talk to us about her story, Marissa, and why it is important that we talk about it.
Sure. So she was the victim of a rape at St. Paul's School. It's a prep school, boarding school in New Hampshire. It's been making headlines for the last couple of years. It's a really terrible story. She went out with a boy who was older than her. She was a freshman. He was a senior. And it sort of turned out that she was a conquest as part of this senior week challenge for the upperclassmen to hook up with as many younger girls as possible. And what started as a date turned into a non-consensual sexual encounter, and it was very traumatic for her. But one of the hard things with rape cases is that the victims are smeared all over the place, but their names are sealed. Their identities aren't revealed in court records. But after this young man was found guilty of some lesser crimes, not a felony rape, of lesser crimes, the family, Chessie's family, was suing the school for not taking care of their students, not looking out for their daughter when she's living there. And they threatened to reveal her identity because they said that she was messing with the school's reputation, which is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Wow.
And, so she decided to take control of the situation and come forward herself. And it just was important because it gave her back the power. You know, a rape victim can often feel so powerless, especially when they can't speak up for themselves. So having her stay on this national platform, the biggest show in the morning, and saying, I'm here, this happened to me, but I survived, and I want to help other people not have to feel the way I felt, alone and ashamed, is so powerful.
If you don't think that our justice system is front-loaded for rapists and men of privilege, headline from late last night, former Stanford University swimmer Brock Turner, a name that we remember, we talked about him before on the show, is scheduled for early release from jail on Friday, that's today, after serving 3 months of his 6-month sentence for sexually assaulting an unconscious woman. So 3 months in jail, he is out today. Pretty gross.
Yeah, it's really hard to wrap your head around, especially when you look at it in the scope of the larger justice system, the way that people are sent away for years for nonviolent crimes, possessing a little marijuana or a little cocaine, and then this young man effectively ruined this young woman's life, and he was given the justice equivalent of a slap on the wrist, and it sends just a really terrible message to other people.
Marissa Kabis has been our guest. Marissa, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter. Have a great weekend.
You too. She is the sex and life reporter for Fusion.net, and follow her on Twitter, Marissa Kabis. That's Kabas. A delightful follow on Twitter as well. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more of the Bill Press Show. Stay tuned.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it. It has to be given to you freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show, 48 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Got a lot of good show ahead of us. In the next hour, we're going to be talking to Will Miniker, one of the hosts of Chapo Trap House. It's good stuff. And then later on in the hour, we'll be talking to Matt Fuller from the Huffington Post. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. I've already begun my.
I was going to say, can you send him a message now?
Yeah.
He's got 45 minutes to get here. If we could just hit him up and make sure he remembers to come in. So make sure you stay tuned to the next hour of the show. We got 1 hour left after this hour, so hope you stick around for that. But last night, the San Francisco 49ers played a little NFL football action. We were going to see what was going to be the next step for Colin Kaepernick, quarterback. He originally, last week, he sat down during the national anthem, which he said was a protest of a lot of things that are going wrong in this country and how America doesn't represent all Americans. Which, like, it's amazing to see how quickly this thing got convoluted and turned into an anti-military or anti-police or this narrative that just got built by people who didn't know what they were talking about. It was never anti-police. It was never anti-military, specifically not anti-military. I mean, these people who are like, these veterans who came out and said, you know, my son died for this country and I'll be damned if Colin Kaepernick sits down for the national anthem. It was never about that. It's not about that. It's about some of the things that are committed against people of color in this country that are inexcusable and they got to get better. And Colin Kaepernick drew attention to that. I said originally, Bill disagrees with me, but I said originally, you know, look, there is a crowd of people who watch football every Sunday, and they might not necessarily be as plugged into the news as you, the informed listener and viewer, and I am, right? That's just a fact, and that's okay. But if an NFL star comes out and says, like, we got a lot of problems here, and I'm going to sit down until we start really paying attention to them, I think that's okay. I think it's a good message to send. Colin Kaepernick last night was talking about his protest because he did not fully sit down during the national anthem last night. He took a knee. And he says this is not anti-American.
The message is that we have a lot of issues in this country that we need to deal with. We have a lot of people that are oppressed. We have a lot of people that aren't treated equally, aren't given equal opportunities. Police brutality is a huge thing that needs to be addressed. There are a lot of issues that need to be talked about, need to be brought to life, and we need to fix those things.
So listen very carefully to what he's saying, right? He's not saying America is a horrible country. He's not saying, that it's not worth living here. He's saying this is a great country. We can be better. What is his message? Here he is.
Once again, I'm not anti-American. I love America. I love people. That's why I'm doing this. I want to help make America better. And I think having these conversations helps everybody have a better understanding of where everybody is coming from.
So here's the double standard that's going on multiple levels. Number one, the people who are freaking out, there's a large group of people who are freaking out about this guy being anti-American. How dare he say such a thing? These are Donald Trump supporters. What is Donald Trump's go-to catchphrase? What do they have printed on hats all across America? Make America great again.
Wait, I thought it was Make Mexico Great Again also.
Best hat of the cycle.
Yeah.
Make Mexico great again also. But Make America Great Again. That's what Donald Trump is running his campaign on. Make America Great Again. The insinuation there is that America is not great. America is great. One of the reasons that we're great is that we can actually point out when things are not the way that they should be. You don't have that luxury in other countries. Colin Kaepernick can say, I don't like what police are doing to black people in America. And he has the right to say that. That's why America is already great. But let's make it better. The other contradiction that I see here that really kind of drives me nuts is, okay, so during Ferguson or during Baltimore, all the white people who were watching it and saying, oh, these people, they should really learn how to protest quietly. They shouldn't tear down their own communities. That's just against their own interests. And, these people need to not protest in such a way that would cause destruction. And they need to just sit down. If they have something to say, they can say it quietly and not destroy everything. Okay. Well, here's a black man sitting down, protesting in a way that is not destructive, that is not harmful. He's being quiet, literally doing nothing. He's literally sitting down.
He didn't reach out.
Into
the TV.
No.
Grab you.
No.
Shake you. Say Black Lives Matter.
No.
That
He
wasn't what
just
happened.
shut up and sat down. That's what you white people were asking for. And that's not good enough. So black people cannot protest at all in this country, if that is your standard. Okay? If that is your standard, that black people can't act out, but also can't sit down quietly, what room is there? Right? That gets away from what makes America so great. 866-55-PRESS, 865-557-7377. We'll be right back.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
For my 6th birthday, my grandpa gave me a Rubik's Cube. I'll always be able to remember its edges, hold it in my hands, heft the weight of an overwhelming problem. I remember him telling me about it. How Rubik's Cube has 43 quintillion, 252 quadrillion, 3 trillion, 274 billion, 489 million, 856,000 possibilities. He told me it can be really confusing sometimes. But to look at the center squares as a reminder of what color each side should be. Shift. We're celebrating his 50th wedding anniversary. He and Grandma are dancing a dance that only fragile legs and wrinkled hands know how to. That type of happiness took him 70 years to earn. The white side of the cube is solved. Shift. He tells me about how he met Grandma. His college friends had a sunset picnic. She was there, as beautiful as an unsolved puzzle. She was a red-headed scramble on an orange tile sky. Shift. The walls of the hospital are blue. The nurses explain that his memories had become jumbled. Strangers in family portraits, pictures with mismatched faces. Alzheimer's has made his mind into a Rubik's Cube. Shift. He's a highway patrolman. His car is white. No, it's blue. He worked there for 30 years. Some nights he still does. Time is a complicated algorithm. Shift. The pills he holds are yellow and red and green. The weight of their color causes his hand to drop. I try to shift his tiles back into place, but people don't have center squares. His mind is a hospital bed divided by 0. Shift. My sister's wedding is white, but he doesn't know why. Shift. World War II is every color. The South Pacific is blue. The islands are green. There is so much red. Shift. Grandpa, table, cube, name, scramble, California, guitar, grapefruit highway, wedding bell, war, stick shift rifles, South Pacific mirrors. Shift, 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 shift. The temperature of his hands is blue. Death is colorless. I will always remember his edges. Hold him in my hands, heft the weight of an overwhelming problem. I was unable to attend his funeral. I never found out the algorithm to solve him. A Rubik's Cube has over 43 quintillion possibilities. A casket only has one.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. Stay tuned. We got 1 hour coming up right after this. A very, very quick little segment. Don't forget, top of the next hour, we're going to be talking to Will Menaker. He is 1/3 of Chapo Trap House, the podcast. If you don't know what it is, we'll tell you what it is at the top of the next hour, and we're going to get some reaction. How the alt-right viewed Donald Trump's big immigration speech. We're going to be talking about that. Plus, Matt Fuller from the Puffington Host will be here with us for the last half of the hour. So stay tuned. Lots of good stuff. Make sure you're watching us on youtube.com/TawkrTV, TAWKRTV. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
I wanted to find a bank with a purpose. I wanted to find a place that would take my money and not use it to cause the financial crisis, but to fix the financial crisis and to help end income inequality.
The people that we employ are usually clients right off the streets. They don't have an account, but Amalgamated is willing to get that started for them.
Their reputation of supporting the working man, I think, speaks for itself. This is a bank that cares for their customers, and I appreciate that.
We were able to access a construction loan through the bank's programs, and that loan has helped us house 28 families in the community.
Amalgamated is a bank that was started for and about working people.
Many of our customers have a deep commitment to advocating for social and economic justice. We share that commitment, and we're not afraid to stand up and say that we need to change some of the way that the country does business.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
The most important issue on this planet right now is to protect and conserve biodiversity in the world's oceans. And I don't think people realize just how intimate our connection is with the oceans themselves. Not only do they provide the very foundation of life and control our weather, but life just simply could not exist without a healthy ocean. The real problem, though, is apathy. It's all out of sight, it's all out of mind, and people don't even think about it. But it doesn't matter whether you live in Peoria or on the coast. The fact is, whatever happens in the ocean affects all life forms on the planet Earth. If the oceans die, then civilization collapses. We all die. We cannot live on this planet without the oceans. This is, in fact, not the planet Earth. It's the planet ocean, but because we're a land-dwelling species, we refer to it as Earth. But it is the planet ocean, and the oceans are the heart and the foundation of all life on the planet.
Taught him how to hit a baseball.
Just like that. Say hi!
How to hit a receiver.
Nice.
The strike zone. The net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. Taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show. It is the third and final hour of the program as we head into this holiday weekend. Hi, everyone. I am not Bill Press, clearly. I am Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill today, and today only. Bill will be back next week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We got a great final hour of the program with thanks to our guests from earlier in the show, Paul Singer and Marissa Kabis. We're going to be talking to Will Miniker from Chapo Trap House coming up in just a moment. And Matt Fuller from the Puffington Host will be in studio with us to round out the hour. I, of course, could not do it alone. I have to get your phone calls at 866-55-PRESS. That's 866-557-7377. You can follow the show on Twitter at BP Show. And running the board is Jamie Benson. Good morning, Jamie.
Yes, good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at JBensonDC. We haven't gotten too many propositions from men who want to have sex with you, Jamie.
Not this morning,
Not
Peter.
this morning, but typically that's, 40% of your Twitter feed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out. That's great.
There's a void in my life right now. I need...
Bring them on.
I need some lusty messages.
I love them.
Hitting my Twitter timeline.
Javon Paris is screening your calls at 866-55-PRESS, and Cyprian Bolding is keeping us on television. YouTube.com/TawkrTV, TAWKRTV, also on Free Speech TV as well. We've got a lot to talk about. Jamie, let's just get right to it. We're going to be talking to Will Miniker in just a moment, but first...
This is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories for you on this Friday morning. Peter, minor league baseball teams are known for some interesting promotions, right?
I love minor league baseball so much.
Tickets are cheap. Then again, some folks do fall in and out of love with minor league baseball teams, so they do everything they can to try to get folks in the seats.
Sure.
The Potomac Nationals, right here in the DMV area, in Woodbridge, Virginia to be exact, are trying out a very interesting 2016 themed promotion tomorrow night in advance of their 6:35 p.m. game. The Potomac Nationals will be holding a mock 2016 presidential election. Sounds kind of hokey on the surface until you realize how much is going into this. Okay, so the Potomac Nationals, the minor league baseball team of the MLB's Washington Nationals, will have official voting booths, ballot boxes, and authentic ballots, thanks to a collaboration with the Prince William County Office of Elections.
This is a lot.
It's huge.
This is a lot.
You'll also get an I voted sticker and a voucher that can be redeemed for either a Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump bobblehead.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
no
you
Jill
got a
Jill
too.
Stein bobblehead?
Oh, no
I'm
Gary
calling
Johnson.
BS. They need to have a Gary Johnson or a Jill Stein bobblehead.
So if you are in the area, tickets, I believe, are still available. The mock voting begins at 5 p.m.
You're a bobblehead guy,
tomorrow
right?
night. I
You-
like
you
bobbleheads.
collect bobbleheads?
No, I have a couple.
Do you?
I got a Paul Pierce, old Boston Celtics bobblehead. I think a Nomar Garcia-Parra Red Sox. That's about it. Yeah. We go to Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Zoo announced earlier this week that they were going to have a naming contest for their new baby gorilla.
Oh, shut it down.
See where this is going?
Yeah, I know where this is going automatically.
So, obviously, folks all across the internet immediately started tweeting at the Philadelphia Zoo saying, please name your new baby gorilla Harambe.
Yeah.
Or Harambe Jr. or Harambaby.
Listen.
Any other variation on the dead gorilla, the gorilla, of course, that was assassinated at the
I
Cincinnati
would tell you
Zoo.
something. This was the first week of school for my children.
Yeah.
My oldest, it's his first year of middle school. He comes in on the second day of school. I go, how was school? It was fine. Hey, what's Harambe? So, like, this is what middle school is, right? I realize middle school is basically Twitter. Because, like, he's asking me about dank memes now. He's asking me about Harambe. We have to have the Harambe thing.
Harambe is still a thing. The Philadelphia Zoo clearly learning from, remember that British boat contest where they wanted to name the boat Bodie McBodieface?
Bodie McBoatface, yeah.
The Philadelphia Zoo did come out and tweet, "Thank you for your support. Once we have chosen names for the baby gorilla, we will let you know so you can cast your vote. There will be no write-ins for Harambe."
I think I'm over Harambe.
Me too.
Okay.
And finally, we'll stay in the Philadelphia area. Peter, this one hits home for you and I. A new beer coming out of New Jersey from the fine folks at Flying Fish Brewing Company.
Oh, we met this woman.
Remember
This is a woman we met on the street.
We met the owner of...
when we were there for the DNC.
Flying Fish Brewery. She literally came up to us because she saw we had...
She saw we had our credentials. I was carrying a giant meatball sandwich. You remember that?
As one
we
would
went to
in Philadelphia.
Paisanos.
Yeah.
And there's like the world's biggest meat. I ordered a meatball sandwich, and it was like they delivered a baby. And we're walking down the street like an animal, hungover, and she goes, "Oh yeah. So Flying Fish Brewery, that's great."
Flying Fish Brewery has announced that they will be releasing a limited edition porter. Of course, we all know what a porter beer is—a heavier beer.
A DAC beer.
The Exit 7 Pork Roll Porter. That's right, New Jersey's infamous pork roll sandwich, only in New Jersey or in the Philadelphia area. Exit 7, the beer, is said to have, quote, aromas of cocoa with hints of maple and smoke. Its flavors include chocolate, maple, toasted nuts, and a bit of spice from the pork roll. 7.5 ABV.
Hard pass.
And it is indeed made with real pork roll from Taylor Provisions.
No, thank you.
Which is the folks that make the Taylor pork roll.
You know what's better than pork roll beer is just a pork roll, egg and cheese on a Kaiser bun, in the words of Gene Ween.
And maybe washed down with a regular beer.
Just give me a regular beer. Yeah, I don't need a pork roll beer. Thank you very much, Flying Fish. Sweet woman, though.
She was great.
She was a nice lady. Those of you who know me know I am a bit of an audiophile. I like podcasts. My favorite one right now, without a doubt, is Chapo Trap House. So when I found out that I was hosting the show today, I definitely wanted to get Will Menaker on the show. Hey, Will, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Glad to be here with you.
Thanks for joining us. For those,
and by the way, just for the record, if Jamie is looking to be solicited for sex, I'd be happy to do so.
Will,
thanks, Will.
You should totally solicit him for sex. There's a thing we have people who only want Jamie for his body, and they tweet him constantly of what they would have to do to get Jamie to take his top off. I'm not kidding.
I want Jamie for his mind, actually.
That's a first. That's a first.
That's touching.
He's not treating you like a piece of meat. You should run, by the way, because Jamie has a history of dealing with the guys that just want him for his body. So this is not good. Follow Will on Twitter at Will Menaker, Menaker, and follow the Chapo podcast at Chapo Trap House. Hey, Will, for those who might not be familiar with the podcast, can you tell us a little bit about what it's all about?
Well, it's me and my two co-hosts, Matt Christman and Felix Biederman, and I think we, probably most of our material is drawn from politics and the media, but I like to think that, we discuss the issues of the week and take a kind of absurdist look at the news and culture.
And your reading series really is the best thing going. The reading series is very important.
That's our most popular thing.
Yeah.
That's where we find we come across some of the better intellectuals, some of the great minds of our time, like Rod Dreher, Ross Douthat, and others who, in their attempts to get their point across or wage their personal culture war, cannot help but betray fascinating details about their own lives.
Most importantly, Will, how's your grip strength? You got a good grip strength?
It's super strong.
Yeah, it's very strong like bull.
Super strong.
Strong like bull. Millennials have weakened grip strength. Jamie, as you know, we talked about this.
Iron grip.
I mean, it comes from all the gaming I do, though.
That's it. Hey, I wanted to get your reaction to not necessarily the weirdness of the Donald Trump week, because I think that's been fairly well covered, but the reaction that the alt-right has been giving to Donald Trump, because it's very clear now that Donald Trump this week with his immigration stuff has been catering to a very specific audience, right?
Well, he's playing his greatest hits, right?
Yeah, he really rolled it out. Absolutely on Wednesday night. I mean, it was the softening, then we're going to go to Mexico, and then when he gave his speech on Wednesday, it was very directly catering to the white supremacist groups here in America.
Well, I mean, you said like he was softening in the weeks leading up to this. You know, there was surrogates they were saying something along the lines of, well, you know, the wall is really, he's talking about a virtual wall of enforcement, or it's like the wall's a metaphor for our border security. And I kept expecting in this big speech he was going to say something along the lines of, guess what, folks? The real wall, the wall we're really going to build, is in all of our hearts.
That's right. This reminds me, by the way.
No, he didn't do that.
No, not at all.
He went back to what I think got him so popular and what energized so many people to support him to the Republican nomination, and that is building the wall, having Mexico pay for it, and the ethnic cleansing of the southwestern United States.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the idea of an abstract wall or a virtual wall would go so far over the heads of anybody who's supporting Trump that it's literally not even an idea that can even be grasped. So I think everything about his campaign is so on the nose that I don't think that you can get into an idea that's abstract like that. It reminds me of, I think it was 2012 when Herman Cain was announcing his running mate, and everybody freaked out that he was announcing his running mate, and his running mate that he announced was the American people.
I forgot about that.
That actually happened. He came out and he was like, I want to announce my running mate. Everybody freaked out. This was in South Carolina. We were there. And he said, my running mate is the American people. Yeah.
So that's like when Time Magazine made you.
That's right.
Of the year.
That's right. Just a glossy cover with with that shiny like lame on the front. But like the relationship that Donald Trump has with I kind of hate the phrase alt-right. I mean, they're white supremacists, a lot of them. But
yeah, for the most part. But like I think a lot of them skew, younger, and they're good at memes. So we need I think the new word is maybe appropriate. Maybe it glosses over their outwardly fascist inclinations, but good enough for me.
Yeah, I think so too. The David Duke reaction.
It's just like they are white supremacists and like the neo-Nazis or whatever. When I think white supremacists and neo-Nazis, like I think of guys that are scary and have a ton of tattoos and have probably killed someone or been in and out of prison or whatever.
Definitely have a spider web tattoo.
These guys are not that.
Right.
These guys are,
so who are they?
The alt-right is mostly online. It's kind of, I think it skews very young. I think there are people in it who are smarter and more cynically using it for their own ends, but I think for the most part it's kind of, just sort of online degenerates and social maladroits, basically.
So who are they taking their cues from, I guess? Because it seems like there is something that's feeding into the Trump campaign. It's not the Trump campaign feeding them.
I think they're taking cues from themselves. I think it's very self-referential, and I think it's part of kind of a similar online culture of sort of irony and nihilism and these kind of, like I said, very self-referential and kind of always sort of feeding back on itself, and this kind of perpetual motion machine of sort of agitation and courting outrage and seeing if you can get a rise out of people. I think that's really what's driving it.
And yet, yesterday, Donald Trump said that he is going to soften his stance on immigration. Those are his words. He said there's going to be quite a bit of softening. So where's that going to leave him with these alt-right voters?
I don't know. Where else are they going to go? I think that so many of them are either cynically or as a joke even have gone so hard for Donald Trump at this point. I don't think there's a turning back for them.
Yeah.
Even if he became president and said, guess what, folks, were having amnesty, I think they would lose their minds. But like the idea that you wouldn't expect that from Donald Trump is a bit laughable to me, because the guy transparently has no real beliefs in anything.
What I think the thing that kind of drives me nuts is I think that we've sort of accepted here on the show that I don't see any way that Hillary Clinton is going to lose. But what happens to these alt-right voters? What happens to these voters if Donald Trump loses?
Well, I mean, that's probably the best case scenario for them, to be honest. Because if Trump loses, they're sort of off the hook of ever, having to support something in the affirmative or follow up on anything. And if Hillary wins, they can just go on continuing to be, sort of perverts and, instigators and racists online, but without ever actually having to do anything or own up to the consequences of anything real politically.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to fight against the machine when you're in the minority. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
a good
I
point.
think they'll like it. I think they like this idea that they are rebelling against polite culture, and I suspect that they'll continue to do so.
All right, Will Menaker, thanks so much for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
You can follow him on Twitter at Will Menaker, Menaker, and definitely go listen to Chapo Trap House. You can find it on iTunes. Go follow them on Twitter as well. It's just Chapo Trap House on Twitter. Quick break. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press. We'll be right back.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Today, in this country, we are having a conversation about police violence, the killing of black men, and what all that means. It is sad that this is happening and that every day there's a new incident to cause us to keep thinking about it and talking about it. But it is extraordinary that the American people are having to deal with this every day, whether you're watching CNN or MSNBC, Fox, or ABC News. All the news channels are talking about police violence and what does that mean against black people. Many people probably look at that, certainly have looked at it in the past, and they have said that these poor black men are doing bad things, and that's why they are ending up in confrontations with police without any understanding of their lives of these poor black young men. Part of what has been going on for decades is that poor black people live in communities that suffer from hyper surveillance of the police. Their police are more likely to be in their communities. The police are more likely to arrest them. The police are more likely to stop them even if they're not doing anything. And that is what is so hard for the American people to believe, that you would get stopped and searched and arrested by the police and not doing anything. But this is starting to come out as people are telling the stories over and over again. But this has been the condition, this hyper surveillance by police, making it more likely for people to get a record, to be known by the police, and then once they get in the system, it is almost impossible to get out because of the whole system of being on parole and missing an appointment or fraternizing with a person who has a criminal record, getting you right back in the jail, and then going back again and again and again. This is coming to be seen by the American people in a way that it has never been seen before. But why are people in these communities in the first place? That's getting peeled away. People are there because of housing discrimination. They are there because this is the only place where affordable housing can be found. They are there because that's where their families live, and people are drawn to being in communities where they are comfortable. The combination keeps people in these low-income communities where they are an easy target for hyper-surveillance and then everything that comes from it. And so as we think about these issues, We have to understand that while you as an individual in this society, as a white individual, you may not carry personal racism, but that does not keep the system from operating in a racist way.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show, 26 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press. I forget, Jamie, that your mom, a sweet woman who I've met, watches the show. And so I should maybe walk back my comments about gay men sending you sex tweets.
I mean, it's a bit.
But I just want to point out, you did take off your sweatshirt, and you're now showing off your arms.
I have removed a layer of clothing.
Not that you are asking for it or asking, trolling, baiting for people to send you tweets.
No.
But
never.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Jamie's mom. I'm sorry, Julie. Jamie, a couple weeks ago, we got a shipment of the Cheerwine Krispy Kreme soda.
Yep.
And we had some on air with John Allen. And you took some home. Did you try this?
So now the tables are going to turn. Now my mom's going to be mad at me instead of you because of what I did with the soda.
Well,
I was having a lazy afternoon. This might have been Sunday.
Did you like the soda? You tried it just plain.
I can't drink. I couldn't drink it plain.
Yeah,
it's
gross.
straight up sugar water.
It's too much.
Whatever. I decided to make a cocktail, and because I have just one liquor in my liquor cabinet right now.
Okay, well, I know what you put in it.
We're at the reserves.
I know what you put in it.
Would you like to guess?
I'm going to guess that you put rye in there.
No,
Oh,
that's
wow.
disrespectful.
Okay. What did you put in it?
It's a drink that's often mixed with Coca-Cola, which is where I got the idea.
Bourbon?
Nope. Dark liquor, you're getting closer.
Oh, did you do rum?
No.
What did you do?
Hennessy.
Jamie! You put hen in the... No.
It was delicious.
Well, get out of here. It wasn't delicious.
I'm not kidding.
You know in your heart of hearts that was not delicious.
Cheerwine, Krispy Kreme, and Hennessy. Indoors.
Oh, God. I'm vomiting everywhere. Oh, dude, no. I mean, I give you points for creativity, but hard pass.
This is the Bill Press Show.
I have run these canyons for 6 million years. I have traveled from the Rocky Mountains to the deserts, through scorching heat and freezing cold, from the land of the dinosaurs to fields of food.
I lend my hand to 7 states, 2 countries, 9 national parks.
and 36 million people across an arid West.
I am not the strongest or the largest, but I am the hardest working.
People love me.
My playfulness,
My beauty.
my power.
My life. But I don't think I can offer any more.
I am tired.
I am tired,
tapped,
and tied. Of the hundreds of major rivers in the world, I am one of the few who no longer kisses the sea.
Battles to harness my soul have been won and lost. Use me wisely, and I will sustain you.
Use me like you have, and I will break. My name
is
Red. The Grand River Red. The American Nile.
The Canyon Maker. I am the Colorado River.
And I am the most endangered river in America.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Your place to talk about the 2016 election. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. It's 33 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. We're at the last half hour of the show, and thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm joined now by Congressional reporter for the Huffington Post, Matt Fuller. You can follow him on Twitter at MEP Fuller. Matt, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
We were talking to Jamie before you came in about his Cheerwine Krispy Kreme soda that he mixed with Hennessy. We were trying to think of a name for it. So if you have a name for that, you should send us a tweet at BP
Please.
Show. One time, when I was in college, I was making Bloody Mary mix, and I was out of Worcestershire sauce and hot sauce, and I used barbecue sauce instead. I called them Bloody Leroy's. And they were low-key kind of delicious. They were pretty good.
See?
They were pretty good.
Everybody has their food hack that they're ashamed of.
I'm pretty ashamed of that.
I've just found mine.
Yeah.
You have yours, Matt.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to review a viral Facebook post, I think, about food hacks or something.
There's zero shame in that, by the way. I'm just putting all of my shame out there today, as is Jamie.
Frosties and fries.
Frosties and fries.
Oh. Big one.
By the way, there are people out
That's
there who still don't know. There are people who still don't know. I talked to somebody about this the other day, and they were clueless to the fact that you're supposed to dunk your fries into your Frosty from Wendy's.
I don't know.
That's like that's. I mean, it's not advanced, but like you got to know that.
That is basic. But
that's pretty basic food hack. I'm here for it though. It's the best.
Yeah.
Matt not only talks about food hacks, he talks about congressional reporting for the Huffington
But mostly
Post.
food hacks.
But mostly food hacks.
Yeah.
What did I say? You just discovered Wegmans the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how
Wegmans.
hard
Oh,
I
my
ride
God.
for Wegmans? I love Wegmans so much.
Yeah.
You just discovered Wegmans.
I mean, we don't have those in really like the Northeast. I'm from New Hampshire, and like that does not exist. And my uncle is actually if you guys know Market Basket, you remember that?
Oh,
legal
yeah, of
dispute?
course.
Oh, yeah.
He's a manager of a Market Basket, so that's sort of like a family thing. If you show up with Shaw's is another. If you show up with like a Shaw's bag at Thanksgiving, it's like get out. so Wegmans is like this. I walked in, I was like, what is this place?
It's a city.
Yeah,
It's like
amazing.
a whole city.
Yeah.
And you know what I love? This is not hashtag sponsored content.
But Wegmans, if you want to kick them,
look, come on,
cash,
Wegmans. The thing about
an
Wegmans
opportunity.
is, like, you look at their bakery counter, and you look at a lot of bakery counters when you go to the grocery store. At least I do. And like, all this stuff's like, it looks all right, but it's probably not going to be great. It's a grocery store. The baked goods at Wegmans, man.
Yeah.
They're so delicious. Anyway, shout out Wegmans.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you want to drive 40 miles to Woodbridge, there's a Wegmans there.
There's a Wegmans there.
That's pretty nice. I don't know.
Going to see the Potomac Nationals.
You want to see
There's a
Potomac
Wegmans
Nationals?
there. There's a Wegmans very close to there. I drive that all the time going to Richmond, and there's a Wegmans not far from there. Plus,
Exit
that's
156B.
Yeah. I have a Wegmans not far from me in my hood, way up in Maryland, but the problem is they don't sell beer. The Virginia, because Maryland and their dumbass beer laws, they drive me nuts. But the Virginia ones sell beer, and they got a great
wine section
great
too,
beer
yeah.
wine thing.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Let's talk about Congress. You're congressional reporter for the Huffington Post. I can't
Not
even try.
Wegmans reporter.
I can't even try and make a segue from it. So we're just gonna hit the brakes hard, and pivot. Congress gonna be doing anything anytime soon? I know that they're taking their big school summer break.
Yeah, school was out. School comes back Tuesday
back.
after 7 weeks. So that was, I'm not sure what the exact year is, but it's been decades since they've had a 7-week August break.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's been. I just sort of.
I was time.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was just like, Jesus, it's been forever. This is the longest that I remember.
Like July 13th or something, 12th or
God.
something. The conventions Republicans were the 15th, right?
Yeah.
Started so.
Yeah,
Anyway, so they come back. They got government funding, not crisis at this point, but a government funding issue. That government funding runs out on September 30th. So start the new fiscal year. That should be fine, I think, with a CR, continuing resolution. But the fight right now is the term of that CR and really what happens after that. I think everyone sort of at this point says we'll do a short-term one and then make a decision in December whether or not there's going to be an omnibus or another CR that's longer term or another 2-month CR. And conservatives are pissed about the length of the term right now already. They want to kick it into the new year, which is sort of the traditional thing in election year. You go to March, and it seems like they're going to go shorter than that and try to do something bigger, but who really knows?
There was a time I remember when we were not going to be dealing with these funding resolutions.
Oh yeah, when Paul Ryan came into office.
Paul Ryan's. Yeah, it was
weird.
I think it was a promise made.
We're gonna do a regular order appropriations. There's a better way. Weird how that turned out. So the thing with Paul Ryan and I had a story this week about conservatives, increasingly growing frustrated and maybe talking about sort of a quixotic speaker coup in January, but they love that stuff.
Why would they do that again?
Well, so they're just pissed about appropriations, and they, the thing with Boehner was actually in some ways more effective at doing this whole appropriations thing, and not to say Boehner was effective at it. They get 6 appropriations bills done, but all of them you'd get an open rule, which means or at least everyone but one, I should say, but they would go to the floor and anyone could offer an amendment. Now that process has been closed down a little bit. Paul Ryan gets to control which amendments are made in order, And that's pissed off conservatives. They also, I mean, no one noticed this, but they didn't get a budget done this year, the budget chairman. So there's all sorts of little things, this very quietly, the Paul Ryan speakership, this like magic, it ran out pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of started to see that happen a little bit before the break, and I guess the break just sort of like
crystallized.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a conservative, Tim Heelskamp, he went down in a primary in like the Chamber of Commerce, dropped a bunch of money. The Ricketts family dropped a bunch of money, and they're close with Ryan in some way. So the conservatives felt like this was something that Paul Ryan could have controlled. Like he could have made a call to the chamber and been like, "Why are you guys spending $1 million against Tim Heelskamp?" And this is all very petty, kind of small stuff, but for these guys, it sort of signals like this open war. Like you're trying to pick off our guys. So now they're like, let's come back. I mean, there's a quote in one of these stories here that's like, you stab one of our guys. What kind of gang doesn't stab someone back? Like, we got to stab. So like the shivs are out.
We can't just stand here. We gotta stab. The shivs are out.
Yeah. There's like a jail mentality on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Couple things that I know that correlates between jail and
Capitol Hill.
And Capitol Hill. All right, no cellies.
Couple members is the
answer.
Answer.
Number 1, no cellies. Number 2, stay away from corn dogging. You don't want to do it. No corn dogging on the Hill or in prison. Don't Google it. Definitely don't Google it.
I'm just gonna ask you to move on.
How is Paul Ryan? That was me moving on. How is Paul Ryan sort of handling his support of Trump? Not well. I think credit to Mabute, who tweeted a while back, like the worst job in America is going to be the guy that tells Paul Ryan what Donald Trump said the night before.
Mr. Ryan, Speaker.
I hate to interrupt, but
there was a Jewish star. I gotta sort of. I'm gonna pull it up for you. Have you seen this? Frozen? Anyway, you're 9:32. Yeah,
and Paul Ryan always with the canned responses. Paul Ryan is always gonna say one of two things, like, "Well, we have to appeal to our better angels," or "We are not this." And like that's
there's the other option, which is I'm not going to litigate this, the day-to-day ups and downs of the campaign.
Yeah.
That's just my job. And then the next day it's like, that was just beyond the pale.
Beyond the pale. Beyond the pale is the other one.
Textbook racist comment. ...
I still support Donald Trump.
But I still support him.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
I mean, I keep waiting for that to catch up with him, and I don't think it is.
I think that it will catch up. There's a few things about this. First of all, he made such a big stink about his whole endorsement.
Yeah.
I mean, no one talks about Mitch McConnell endorsing Trump, and it's like he just jumped into bed with that.
Yep.
In some ways, you can give Ryan credit for being like, I'm not exactly there on that. And he introduced himself some daily, and I think he'll come back around in a year and say, well, you guys know I wasn't really on board with that whole thing.
I think you're right, by the way. Mark it. We're going to revisit this.
Not even
again.
A year. I mean, I think
we'll revisit
6
this.
months.
Yeah, we'll revisit this, and he'll.
I told you guys. I had some reservations. You all know I wasn't actually.
I wasn't totally on board.
I wrote in Paul Ryan. You guys do know I didn't vote for that guy. But he preserves. He kind of like lives to fight another day with it, right? Yeah. I mean, I think their thinking was, if you don't endorse, then you're sort of stuck in this position of like the highest ranking Republican didn't endorse him, and then people are just going to stay home, and you're giving them a license to stay home. And it still looks like it's going to be a sort of a bloodbath with House Republicans, but the extent to which we don't know. And his whole thinking was, well, I might as well fire people in some way about Trump while still sort of being like hands-offish about that guy over there with the racist comments and the Jewish star. Yeah, I don't know.
44 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. My guest is Matt Fuller from the Huffington Post. Follow him on Twitter at MEPFuller and read his good work at HuffingtonPost.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter at BP Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
I wish I was in school.
If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
This is the Bill Press Show, 48 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. Listen. So Fox and Friends. I was like debating whether
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
So we got all the 3 TVs on here, and Fox and Friends, they have their summer concert series on Friday, and today it's Twisted Sister. Jamie, do you even remember Twisted Sister?
Vaguely.
Come on, feel the noise? Is that
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah.
But it's Dee Snider who puts on, I mean, look, there was a point in my life that I liked Twisted Sister, but he puts on makeup. He's got long hair. He's wearing a leather vest and nothing on underneath it.
He looks like Cher in a bad blonde wig.
He looks really kind of frightening, but Fox and Friends has him on at 8:45 in the morning, so...
And good morning to you. Dee Snider looks like Skeletor today. We'll also have his twin Ann Coulter on.
He looks terrifying. He looks haunting. And they put him on morning television. Morning conservative television. God, more power to them. They could do anything they want over
They got to win the Gen X, you know?
Yeah, right.
Their current demographic is dying, so... You got to do something.
They got to go a little bit lower.
Right.
People who used to
Right.
like Twisted Sister.
Right.
Okay, Matt, let me ask you this to switch a little bit to 2016, but also how it relates to Congress. Donald Trump with his immigration stuff this week. It's been up and down. He's going to soften, then he's not. Then he's going to meet with Mexico and ask him for a check, but then that never happened, maybe. And then he gave a very, very pro-deportation, red meat speech. And then yesterday he says there's going to be, quote, quite a bit of softening.
Well, I don't know if Donald Trump knows what words mean.
I think that's where
there's a good chance that words, like, they don't, he needs someone to look up words for him.
They have definitions to them?
Yeah. There are definitions to the word softening mean something.
How has this guy made members of Congress feel about running with him, right? Because it's pretty clear that there are members of Congress who are very, very out in front on their side of the issue for immigration, right? But this guy Trump is really trying to have it kind of both ways.
Yeah, and I think that members of Congress generally are trying to have it both ways too with Trump, where you're not so in front of it with. There aren't really many Republicans who are saying, oh yeah, Trump train. We need Donald Trump. So I think a lot of them are kind of quietly like. I said in April I would support the nominee, and I plan to fulfill that promise that I've made. So that, they're just trying to get away from this thing, and
the John McCain I think is the saddest because he
despises Trump.
He hates Trump worse than anybody else, and he just the resignation of. I said I would support the nominee of the party, and I'm a Republican, and who else could I? And it's the saddest thing. I mean, here's a guy despite what you feel about him and his politics, has put in a lot of service for this country, and he's got to stand up there and do that
for Donald Trump.
Trump.
I mean, I don't know how much these politicians actually watch like the day-to-day Trump things. Like, I think for reporters, it's like watching that speech in Arizona the other night. If you watch that, like, seriously, and him, it's just spouting off rhetoric and then being like, point number 3. And it's like, well, what was 1 and 2 again? He's like, I'm going to do a deep dive on policy here. It just doesn't happen. I mean, it's just like, it's so off the wall that he's saying in one breath, we got to deport him. Just send him back. Send him back.
Yeah.
Just send him back.
Yeah. How? Quickly.
ICE.
Humanely. Quickly. Humanely. We're going to be very
believe
humane.
Me. First hour. Believe me. No problem. Believe me.
But the things he says, we were talking about this earlier with Paul Singer. He'll say things like, on day 1 of my administration, there will be no more violence within inner cities.
Yeah. Well, he says that like first hour. I mean, that's like what the transformative. Well, that's the thing is, I'm finally coming to that point in my life here in the Trump. I mean, this feels like a lifetime, this election.
Yeah.
Where it's like I almost want him to win just so these people see. Like what that? I mean, do you think a wall is going to be built? Like he's at least put himself out there for one thing, right? And he's not going to accomplish that one thing either.
Nope.
And he's sure as hell is not going to have Mexico pay for it.
No.
I mean that's been clear from the get-go here, but it certainly should be clear from his meeting in Mexico, which the president was like, yeah, no, we're not. By the way, we're not doing that.
In the darkest recesses of my soul, I want to see Trump win.
Yeah,
just so
introduce some chaos.
Yeah. Well, just to see these dummies who are like, oh, he's going to build a wall. He's going to make sure that
economy will be roaring.
Yeah, he's going to wipe out ISIS. Terrorism will be dead. Black people.
I don't hate my country that much, but there's like that part of me.
It is. It's in there. It's in there. It's definitely in there. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Matt Fuller, Congressional reporter for the Huffington Post. Thanks so much for coming in, man.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We got one more very, very quick segment. We'll say goodbye right after this. Stay tuned. It's The Bill Press Show.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for?
Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
That's my shouting pot.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is not the parting shot or the sharding pot. It is 57 minutes past the hour with me, Bill Press. I kept Matt Fuller around because Maureen Brown, thank you for keeping us honest on Twitter. She pointed out that Come On Feel the Noise is not Twisted Sister.
That's my
That
shame.
is Quiet
I have to live with that now.
Riot. Quiet Riot is the one that did that. Twisted Sister, they did We're Not Gonna Take It. We're not gonna take it. They also did I Wanna Rock, which is honestly probably one of their better songs.
Yeah. It's got a chorus that you can repeat.
I Wanna Rock kind of kills. Yeah. Bum, 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 like big old heavy guitars. Anyway, I was just watching them. It's like a sideshow up there on Fox and Friends. They're like the bass player, which like most bass players, he looks like he's like a golf pro. You know, he's wearing like slacks and a shirt. And Dee Snider with a perm and a leather vest and ripped up jeans. So anyway, that's our show for today, folks. Matt, thanks for coming in, man. Matt Fuller.
Thank you. Yeah.
Make sure you're following him on Twitter at MEP Fuller. And have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. We're going to be back on Tuesday. We're going to be on Best of mode for Monday. So I hope you have a great Labor Day. We'll see you on Tuesday.
This is the Bill Press Show.